Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler V series videos I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. Eat the stuff. I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm gonna talk about stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna review this second, but I'm thirsty, so yeah, it got bumped up in the roster. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering around about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside the truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That is not the case today. I got this item a few days ago. I think I was out at Target or Walmart, one or the other. I went over there and went out, go grab some supplies, and I was like, woo, supplies, because that's my noise that I make when I go get supplies, apparently. And I was making my way around, and I made my way over, I'm almost certain it was Target, because I remember going around, like, they have, like, their little sort of, like, health food area, you know, and they have, like, the alternative sodas and the teas and stuff. And I think this is where I got that from. And so I was going through, and I'm looking at the different flavors that they have, and some of them I've reviewed already. But they had one that I was not familiar with, and that happens to be what I'm reviewing today. What is it, folks? It's Boom! It is from Culture Pop Soda, or Culture Soda. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I'm not sure if the pop comes into play, or if that's just like a sound effect thing. Fizzy and gutsy, it is a probiotic soda. It is strawberry and rhubarb flavor. Yeah, you can see why my brain was like, yeah, that seems like some shit that I would review. Soda you can feel good about, made with real fruit juice, spices, and live probiotics. Lightly shake before popping. I mean, that's about as light as I can do. It's fizzy, juicy, tangy, tarty, and gutsy. And so, yeah, this is one of those probiotic alternative sodas. I've reviewed a few of them on the channel. Let's give it a go, folks. Let's try it out. I want it to be good. Didn't explode, so I appreciate that. Wow, that is some strawberry smell. I got that from down by my belly button. Ooh, okay. Now, here's going to be the real interesting thing. The rhubarb aspect. I've had strawberry sodas. Plenty of them. I don't even know if I've ever eaten rhubarb. I'm vaguely aware of what it is, but let's give it a go. Excuse me. Okay. I like what they did with this. So, it does have a nice strawberry taste. I'm a big fan of that. And it's genuinely nice. Like, it's a very nice strawberry flavor. So, with the rhubarb, like I said, I don't know if I've ever had rhubarb. If I had, it was not in any capacity of any real significance. But I am aware because I do watch like certain food shows and stuff. Like it's you know, kind of sour tasting, I think. Or like tart or whatever you want to call it. And so what they did, and I think this was very smart, you get the nice sweetness from the strawberry, and again, it's a nice flavor. And then it kind of melds into the sort of rhubarbish, kind of earthy, tarty flavor. And what that does, not only does it create a nice contrast between those two flavors, and if you watch my channel, you know I like contrasting flavors. On top of that, it does a thing that a lot of these like probiotic, like healthy sodas kind of need to do, which is they need to mask some of that bullshit taste. Because, and I'm not against like healthy sodas, healthy. Let me emphasize that. Please do your research. I am not saying that these things are better or worse for you than anything. But, a lot of them taste like ass. Like, there's just no two ways about it. And they've gotten better, though. That's really been the case in my experience. And what they're having to do in a lot of these instances is find ways to mask the more prominent flavors that come along with these alternative aspects. And in a case like this, they use that somewhat sourness from the rhubarb to kind of undercut that kind of just general not pleasantness of like the sort of probiotic aspect. And if you've never had like a probiotic soda where it's like straight, it kind of comes in like one of two sort of flavor varieties. One is that sometimes it'll almost taste like a kombucha, and kombucha. It'll have like kind of like a weird sourness to it that's not pleasurable in my opinion. Or conversely, it'll taste like straight up medicine. And in the case with this, it's more the kombucha-y kind of thing. So by going over there and putting the rhubarb aspect in there, it kind of blends into that. You know, you're still getting that probiotic taste, but because it's blended with something that's a little bit more pleasant, it's a little bit more live-withable. And in general, I think culture pop soda, whatever the hell you want to call it, I think in general they do a pretty good job of trying to blend their stuff in a little bit. It's a little bit sweet, it's a little bit tangy, and then like I said, you do get a little bit of that probiotic soda aftertaste. I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty reasonable. It doesn't taste like a proper soda. I'm just going to toss that out there. Some of these, to be fair, actually do manage to basically taste like, you know, fairly normal sodas, just maybe of like a diet variety kind of thing. The probiotic stuff, even when you do a good job of masking it, you can tell it's not like a normal soda. But that doesn't mean it can't be tasty. And in this case, I think that they did a good job with it. It's not like an overly sweet drink. I wonder how much. 6 grams of sugar. So, you know, obviously less than like your standard sodas, but so it's not overly sweet, it's not overly sour. I think that the flavors that are at play actually work really nice. In fact, it kind of makes me wish that there was like, you know, Crush or Sunkissed or some shit like that. Put out a strawberry rhubarb version of your soda. I'd be really interested to try just like an actual soda version of that. But for this being what it is, it's kind of good. I like it. I'd even go as far as to say that's pretty dang refreshing. But 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? You know what? I'm going to go with yes and yes. Now, again, all probiotic what the fuck ever's aside. I'm not a food scientist. I don't know dick about that stuff. I'm just a fat guy who reviews shit in his car sometimes. That's who I am. So I can't tell you about any potential benefits or anything like that. I'm just talking strictly about the flavor. And the flavor, for me, is not only pretty good for a probiotic soda, because it is a very interesting mix of flavors that like I can't get in an otherwise normal soda. I could actually see grabbing this again, not as a regular thing. It still, again, has that probiotic aspect to it. The flavor that I'm, you know, even though it's lessened, it's still there. But I could see every now and again hitting up a Target or Walmart, wherever the fuck I got this, and being like, you know what? Sure, why not? That's kind of how this falls in for me, because it does have a unique flavor profile that I can't really get anywhere else, and I like it. So, there you go. And by the same token, if I'm going over there and recommending it, you know, it's kind of, who am I recommending it to? Am I recommending it to people like me who don't normally engage in these things, but are maybe curious? Because if that's the case, you're probably just more about the flavor. The flavor is good. It's not, again, it's not as good as like a normal soda, though, in my opinion. If you're somebody who's already into the probiotic stuff and all that shit and everything, and you just want an opinion on, you know, just like, oh, well, how does it compare? Blah, 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 blah. I personally like it. I think it's pretty solid. So, like, on both counts, I would recommend it. It's just kind of, what are you looking for with it? If you just want a soda, there's other sodas available. But even if you just want to try this one for shits and giggles, anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your folks. Go over there, have yourselves a truly rhubarb-tastic rest of your life. I don't know, man. Again, I got nothing on that, but sure. Final two things. Number one, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves running into situations where we have to endure said bullshit, it's important we at least try. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you know all about rhubarb. Maybe you're like the rhubarb specialist of southern Kansas, and you know your rhubarb left, right, up, down, all that stuff. Maybe you have some weird feud with the northern expert on rhubarb, and it's like this weird rhubarb war that like goes back like generations, like the Hatfield and McCoy type of thing. And it's like a whole thing, and then there's like a love thing where it's like on the one side, you girl from one part and a guy from one part, or a guy from one part and a guy from one part, a girl, as you do. Modern society and all that. And it's this whole thing, and it's like a forbidden thing. Can it make it happen? But then it ultimately brings the two clans together, who then share their rhubarb special knowledge with the entire world. And that is one of the dumbest things that I've ever come up with in my entire life, and I'm perfectly okay with that. Bye!